Hey, what's up, everybody? Dave here at Charts of the Day, taking a look at Amazon stock per usual. Well, the chart I have up right now is not the chart for the day. I'll get to that in just a few minutes. This chart is from Monday. We're now at Wednesday, so beginning of the week, I bought here at the 212.50, thinking that might have been hitting the bottom, which I was wrong, WRONG, because it actually went down to like 211.38. And actually, I made 3 trades in here to sort of average this out to 212.50. I had bought up in 213, 212, and 211 down in here, and so the 3 of them ended up being 212.50. And could have sold here, for like $1.25 a share profit, but I'm really not buying Amazon for $1.25 share. Usually I want a minimum $2 per share, so I didn't sell. And then from there, it went downhill the rest of Monday, and then Tuesday, yesterday, I didn't watch the stock, to be honest with you. We just got a new dog, and that dog has been taking up an immense amount of time trying to get settled in. So if I had been watching, I could have sold, if I timed it perfectly at 216.31, which would have been $3.75 a share, and I'll take that any day. But I didn't get that, and it was really choppy yesterday. I looked at it from time to time, and I thought, boy, this is just something to be careful about, because this is a really dangerous look here. And then it really went down and continued to go down in the aftermarket yesterday. So I thought I was going to have to hold this for the long run. And then this morning, I had put an auto sell on this at 217.50, which gave me $5 a share profit, which is really good. And I got an automated notice from Schwab, my trading company, and that it sold at 217.50. Well, then I put my eyeballs on this chart today for sure. And so this is today's chart, a rather amazing specimen, if I may say so. I sold here. So from Monday, I held it at 212.50 and auto sold it for 217.50, $5 a share profit. So, hold it and make the money. And then as I watched it, it went up some, and then it dipped down. And as soon as it got above this candle wick right in here at 218.25, I bought again and sold it at 221. So it was a $2.25 a share profit there. So, I mean, an amazing day. It's an amazing day for anybody if you bought anywhere in here at all and held it. This is actually still live. The market has about 9 minutes to go, and it's up almost to 222. Actually, it went over 222. So, but I'm not in it now. I'm going to have to wait for a pullback, maybe 216-ish. We'll have to see what it does overnight. But today was Amazon's day to come back after the earnings drop. I've said this in other videos. They beat top and bottom line on their earnings, and their stock close to plummeted. And, the investors were saying, well, the amount of money they made wasn't as good as we had hoped. They still made a lot of money on data storage, but it wasn't as good as the competition. Well, Amazon has retail trading, they have AI, they have, data storage, and something else. I mean, they're into like 4 big things. And so, one thing that isn't up, 1,000% in one area, people get upset about it, but they had a really good earnings. And so this is the realization of that today. where people piddled around Monday and Tuesday over it and wringed their hands. This is the comeback, and this is probably where it should be right now. So it is at 221.02, so it's back over 222. And you can see here the signal, long and short, this is selling by, and this is pretty much on point, and it never wavered. You know, if I would have watched the signal, I wouldn't have sold up until almost 221.50 instead of 221. But I put an auto sell on it. I tried to get greedy. You know, I want to make money, but people to try to get to the very top, sometimes that can end very badly if some big sellers come in and sell all at once. So I'm a little more conservative in that area. Okay, so let's take a look here. Let me take a look at, what was I going to look at here? Oh, the range study. And this is a buy here. This is a buy signal. This yellow, you can't really see it, but and this is where I sold this morning. And again, this buy signal, there's no sell signal until it gets up here around 221.40, 30 or 40. And the range study that I have is a little more sensitive than some of the other studies. But let me take a look, see if I can see the volume here while I'm... Yes, so the volume, the 10-day volume is, 10-day average volume on this stock is around 54 million, and we are currently at about 44.5 million. So by the time it closes, we may get to pretty much the 10-day average or a little bit under. But, you know, you'll notice these numbers down here, these are big buys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big buys today as opposed to one big sell. And so the people that were in the market today on this stock, a lot of them were buying, as you can tell. So let me go back and kind of show you this, the two previous days. So this was Monday, big sell, big sell, big sell, indecision. And yesterday was big sell, big sell, big sell, big sell. Then there were several big buys. So this was the choppiness of it all. But amazing day today. We're now at 222.34 with less than 5 minutes to go. I'm going to hang tight on this while this closes, the market closes out, and we'll see where we end up together, if you will. And let me go back here. I just want to clean this up a little bit, and then I'm going to pull up my 5-day, 30-minute chart. And I'm going to change this to just the, gosh darn it, it changes just to the candles. Okay, so very interesting. So this was before the earnings, then the day of earnings, real choppy, and then they had the earnings report. This was Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no, Monday. And we had this mammoth drop, and so let me draw this. It's hard to even draw this right now, to be honest with you. So it had this downward spiral. This is what I want to concentrate on right here. The last few days, if you look at this, this is the bottom trend line for the last 3 trading days. And this is the top where it started. And this is where we're at now, 220, 227. So we'll put it right there at the candle top of the wick of the candle. And you can see first of all, the important thing is the trend line, the lower trend line is on an upward trajectory as well as the top. And so there was a lot of selling here. Yesterday was what I would consider a lot of indecision about, hey, where are we going to go with this stock as far as price? Are we going to revert back to this way down at 211, 210, or are we going to move it up? And I don't think that was really decided yesterday, and nor was it post-market yesterday. I think, overnight trading, you started to see this trend up slowly right in here. Let's see if I can put an arrow on this. This is the importance of looking at the candles after the market. So, if you were watching yesterday afternoon, you thought, oh, geez, you're going to have another bad day today. But you had a bunch, this is probably retail traders coming in and buying smaller numbers of shares. And then there was some selling because people in here said, hey, I'll take some money before it goes down. The first 10-minute candle this morning was unsure. The second 10-minute candle was a spot on indecision. But it was the third 10-minute candle today where things really started to move and break out. So that's sort of where we're at. Where we're going to go, who knows? I mean, at this point, I would say we're probably going to see a little bit of a pullback here tomorrow. I was hoping for 216. I'm not sure it's going to go that far back down again. But 217-ish maybe. I'll have to see if it drops, how it drops in the post-market and how it does in pre-market tomorrow. I definitely plan on getting in. I think the stock is back on its game. I don't think it's going to go back up. And that's the close of the market. And it closed at 222.30. So it got up past 222 today. That's an amazing run. So let's just take a look at just today, now that the market's closed, I should say. We'll go back to the 10-minute. I'll take this off. Actually, let's leave that on because, man, this was an incredible run. You can see here it topped out in pre-market right there. So what some people will do is they'll trade on the trend line. And so they would have drawn this trend line here in pre-market coming into this candle. And then the top, the highest price in pre-market was here. So my guess is for people that use trend line, just pure trend line trading, they would have traded somewhere in here. They would have bought in a 215, 216 range, and they could have rode that all the way up and then sold it when it dropped down below the trend line at 221.25 or 30. So even there, it's a mammoth run up today. What a beauty. Well, that's all I have today. Let me go back. We'll take a look at one more specialized study. These are ones that are not standard studies or custom studies. I think a lot of people like to look at. And this is my cloak study. This one is on probably 95% of the time. By the way, this is a 10-minute chart. I trade on a 10-minute chart for Amazon. So, for me, Amazon doesn't move up and down that fast, so I stay with the 10-minute. But anyway, here, a cloak is telling you to buy. It's green. This is basically a buy signal. And looky here, right as it goes above VWAP. If you look at any of my other videos, I tell you when a stock crosses above VWAP, good things could be happening. And that's exactly what happened. Once that thing got above VWAP, it was off to the races. So that's all I really have today. I'll try to get back with you all tomorrow, and we'll see what happens. But it looks like Amazon has shaken off its post-quarterly earnings blahs, and so we'll see what happens tomorrow. I hope you all have a great day, and hit subscribe and like. Thank you.